Well, it's right on the hour. We're going to go ahead and get started. Again, my name is Aaron Matheny. I'm the owner of CSG Medicare Pros, and I've got with me here today, very thrilled that he spent some time with us, Paul Rose, CEO of Western Asset Protection, and just very, very excited to give you some information. You know, we're all newbies at some point. And for those who are just looking at this as an opportunity or looking to transition from where you've been working at a call center or you've been working in other types of insurances and looking at an independent insurance advisor role, this is for you. In fact, I've just been excited about this training, this presentation since this idea was born a few weeks ago. And it's the first time, Paul, I don't know about you, it's the first time I've ever done one that's focused on this or even heard of a webinar of this topic.
Yeah, I think being a successful agent, Aaron, that you are, you started from somewhere, and I think you and I are excited about sharing, either working with our organization, starting in the Medicare space, or working with a new organization for Medicare. It's a fun topic.
Yeah, it is. And, it's something that's really kind of visceral to me because my first couple of years starting the business was rocky. Before I found Paul and Western Asset as my FMO, I was with two different FMOs that were just lots of promises and kind of some shady stuff, held me captive. And it just really was kind of almost turned me away from it. But I knew there was something there. And anyway, so we're excited to share with you some things that we've learned, some things that'll help your road if you're looking to get into this for the first time. We'll welcome those of you here participating live. We also are recording this, and some of you are going to be watching this much later than it was recorded, but I'm thrilled that you're here with us today. If you're participating live, please use the Q&A or the chat to communicate with Paul and I. We'll try to keep a close eye on that. And those of you who are not watching this live, you should have my contact information. Give me a call with any questions you have. All right, should we jump in, Paul?
Absolutely, we're excited.
Okay, so here's our agenda. With having an agenda, we're also pretty loose. We want to be free to answer questions, and things you might wonder might take us a little different direction, and that's okay. We just want to make sure that it's something that's meaningful to you. But, firstly, you see here on the agenda, really how the Medicare hierarchy works and why it's important for you to understand. I had no clue when I jumped into this 10 years ago, no clue at all. And it would have changed. It would have changed some things that I had done. Talk about some of the roles of an FMO, field marketing organization, and a mentoring agency. Paul being the FMO, me being the mentoring agency. We'll talk about both Western Asset Protection, affectionately called WAP, and CSG's Value Propositions. And we'll also just give you some hints, some pro tip recommendations on how to break into Medicare sales. And again, we'll pause for a Q&A at the end, but all along, if you have questions, let us know. We'll watch out closely.
And I think Aaron and I just want to set the stage here. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I think as a new agent or an agent that doesn't understand what Aaron just said, sometimes you don't know what questions to ask. Could be like, who pays my commissions? Or if I don't like my current FMO, how do I change? Or, gee, how successful can I be in this business for real, Aaron? We'll shoot it straight with you guys. And with over 10 years of experience with Aaron and 22 years with me, we got 30 years of experience on the call that we'll try to address any thought related to these topics and being real.
Yeah, for sure. With that said, you're going to have other questions too. So we'll definitely be available, after this for some time if you want to schedule some meetings with us. Okay, so Medicare hierarchy, and Paul, we're just going to kind of bounce back and forth. So do you want to chat a bit about what this hierarchy looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you said it when you came in the business, understanding the hierarchy. Where do I fit as an agent or an agency in this business? it kind of takes a couple years to understand where we're at. I mean, obviously the first one on the top of the list is this little entity called the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, or CMS, or Medicare as we refer to it. This is a $600 billion annual system. It's sort of a big deal. There's 60 million people in the system, probably 65 to 70 now, and then there'll be 80 million people in this program in the next 10 years. And there's no slowdown. Why? The baby boom generation, they're all coming into Medicare. You guys heard the numbers, 10, 11,000 people a day are turning 65. So when we talk about the Medicare opportunity, that's what we're really referring to, is serving a bunch of underserved people in an ultra complex health insurance system. People need help. We're talking about your average age is 72. It's people turning 65, people on certain disabilities, but primarily the older population. There may be a lot of impairments, issues, challenges. Most importantly, Aaron, understanding the system. There are thousands of plans available all across the country. It's complex and confusing. People think they're on the right plan, they're on the wrong plan. And just when we talk about getting in this business, Aaron, when you and I started, by the way, 10, 20 years ago, it wasn't this complex. There weren't as many plans. It was a little bit easier, but now all these billion-dollar companies are coming out with hundreds of plans to try to get market share. So we kind of start with the Medicare as being the opportunity. And maybe, Aaron, you can chime in on Medicare regulating commissions and how a broker gets paid in this business by offering the consultation.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So, and this is really important to understand, that if you've been in other insurance businesses, you are giving a percentage of your commission to whoever's above you. That's not how it works in Medicare. So Medicare has and it's different between Medicare supplement plans and Medicare Advantage plans, but we'll focus on Medicare Advantage. You keep 100% of your commissions, and Paul and I, as an upline, as an FMO and a mentoring agency, we get a small override, which is great for you, because that's one of the things that you really should know as a new agent, is who's invested in my success, who wants me to succeed, who wants me to sell and be successful in this. Well, Paul and I are both incentivized to do that. And I don't care what carriers you write policies with. I just want you to be writing policies and making money. So besides Paul and I, insurance carriers are also very invested. And that's a real important key to know.
I think the big nugget, Aaron, is two words: residual income. There are so many products and services out there in the business. This is what's so attractive about insurance, but Medicare in particular you got to have it. You got to enhance. First of all, Medicare doesn't cover everything. We're not getting into that today. So we essentially sell making Medicare better, supplementing Medicare, making Medicare better, because Medicare by itself isn't enough. There's holes, there's gaps, there's not enough coverage. We're helping clients fill those gaps, enhance their Medicare coverage. And a lot of times, Aaron, we can do it at no premium, no underwriting. We do a little consultation with the customer once we know what we're doing. And the carriers are going to pay us a commission. It's not massive, $200, $300, $400, give or take, could be higher, could be lower, but they're going to pay you per client per month. The most attractive part about this opportunity: 60, 80 million people, complex, confusing, help people enroll, no underwriting, no premium. They're going to pay you residual income upwards of $20 per client per month. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when you have 100 to 400 customers on the books, that's where we grow compounding residual income. And that's you, Aaron, after 10 years, you've seen it grow. And we always like to start with Medicare, you as an advisor, and the opportunity in this business.
Yeah, for sure. And the other interesting point here, and we didn't really have this built in any place, so I'll throw it out now. If you've done other insurance sales or other sales at all, this is not sales. This is not sales. Like Paul said, people need it. And between me and Billy Bob or Betty Lou down the road, we all have the same product. So if I meet somebody and they don't hate me, then I'm going to be their agent. It's just that simple.
So what the carriers do, Aaron, I think, speaking of hierarchy, so we start with the Medicare system. It's complex, confusing. We got to make it better. And where do we come in, the advisor and the FMOs? Next is the carrier. So
Mhm.
the insurance company, United Healthcare, Humana, Aetna, Cigna, insert billion-dollar, insurance company. The insurance company will contract with Medicare to offer a suite of products. Could be filing a Med Sup, could be filing an HMO, PPO, PDP. There are a lot of regulations for a health plan to offer coverage to consumers, a lot of red tape, if you will, but the insurance carrier contracts with Medicare to offer service in a county like Maricopa County in Arizona, Greater Phoenix, if you will. So that's where the carrier comes in. They're ultimately the ones administering a particular set of plans, and the insurance carrier will then subcontract independent agents to solicit, sell, more importantly, what Aaron's saying, advise, credential, and certify independent insurance agents to offer coverage. Just before we get to the agent, though, which is you on the call and the opportunity here, they will hire contract independently like you, wholesalers or agency partners like Western Asset Protection and CSG Medicare Pros. So, and I think a lot of agents, Aaron, ask why. Why do we have to work with an FMO? Why do we even have to work with an agency partner? And I'll speak to my level, let you speak to yours. The reason carriers hire FMOs or field marketing organizations or large wholesale agencies is they need help. There are thousands of agents, and they simply don't have the bandwidth or capacity to recruit, develop, and train that many people. That's the honest truth. So administratively, as a wholesaler, we conduct training, opportunities, engagement. We offer a suite of services really to the insurance carrier to do these services, support our agents. And for that, we receive, like Aaron mentioned, a little override on the deal. But that's the wholesale idea. But then we're like, we don't have enough resources to break down and get to the agents. And I say, Aaron, if we partner up, you're a successful producer. Aaron has an agency, a mentoring partnership agency where he can actually share his success. So Aaron can take, so what we do, there's an override where Aaron and I share the override to support independent agents getting in. So now you're not lost in the shuffle as an FMO because the FMO's got a bunch of agents. And the agency like CSG Medicare Pros can actually put together real training, real time, talking to consumers. And basically, how did Aaron build his business over 10 years? What if we told you we could do it in 3 or 4 years if you do the right work, or trim that timeline down and get Aaron's support? So we contract with Aaron to provide even more support combined as partners, independent, and contract independent agents in our downline to get paid directly by these carriers. Anything you want to add to that, Aaron?
No, I just, you've explained it very succinctly. I think just bottom lining it, you get a lot for nothing, and you're not paying anything. You're not losing anything. But agents, independent agents, are getting a lot for nothing to have. Again, whether it's Paul and I or somebody else that you've interviewed and you like them better, that's fine. But don't not have each of our levels. The FMO is kind of a given, but I didn't have somebody like me. In fact, Paul, I don't know if you remember, but my very first time I met you was in your conference room, and there was a general agent there, mentoring agent, and she said, we're too close to open enrollment. I just don't know that I can get you up to speed. And I said, okay. And so I just went off on my own. I did decent, but then that next year I got connected to her and she helped me move forward. So, yeah, no, it's
Mentorship is everything. If I could learn from you what not to do, that's the most important thing. What to do,
yeah,
I got to take that and run with it. But what not to do? I made these mistakes when I was starting as an agent. Like that's what I'd want to learn as an agent. I think it's also important, Aaron, to say, so you and I are independent partners. We support agents in being successful. We have our own model. There's probably 8 to 10 different models out there. We are not considered a career LOA model where you're like a W-2 employee. We're not, guaranteeing you have X amount of appointments per day. Like that's more of a career model where you work for a carrier or you work for an agency that controls your commissions, and they offer you a set of services and support. You got to be very careful in this next conversation. How does the FMO hire the agent? Not even hire, contract the agent. At CSG Medicare Pros and Western Asset Protection, we appoint you directly to the carrier. So you have a direct appointment with United Healthcare, Humana, Aetna, Cigna, any carrier we plug you into. You are an agent with that carrier. You have an ID number. You are not CSG Medicare Pros or Western Asset Protection. You're paid directly by that carrier. And the good part of that is you're vested. You own the block of business. Now, there's also all the pressure that you have to build your business. It's up to you and us together as a team to build that business. But the nice thing is, if you ever left us for whatever reason, you take that book with you. And some agencies, Aaron, don't disclose that when they're recruiting agents, that there's some, stipulations for the arrangement.
Yeah.
Or rules that if I wanted to leave, I couldn't leave. Like, what are your release rules? A couple of questions I ask FMOs. What are your release rules? If I want to go, will you let me go? And will you put that in writing to me? Who pays my commissions? And can you talk a little bit and show me some of the services that we're going to get? Oh, and by the way, what kind of help can I expect from you to help me grow my business? These are very fair questions to ask any mentoring agency and what they'll do. What you're looking for, you're actually looking for someone to be really honest with you. We won't do this. We won't do that, but we're going to do this, this, and that. Does that work for you? And if someone would have told you that, Aaron, maybe when you started your career, would have told me that, really would have helped us find the right FMO partner to work with. Because like you said, no FMO or agency is treated equally. We all do a lot of the same stuff, but it can depend, especially in the age of technology and support today.
No, I love what you said, Paul. And I think that you're a great model of that, of saying what we're good at, what we do, what we don't do. And kind of going back to my first experience, having two FMOs before that were train wrecks, what they did is promise leads. What they didn't do is tell me that they are holding me captive. If I decide to go someplace else, they're holding me captive. And so I really wasted kind of a whole year not selling anything because I was captive with two different, and maybe you look at that and say, well, you're kind of a knucklehead if you got aligned with two crappy FMOs. You're probably right. My wife would probably agree with you sometimes. But I did learn, and I did know what I was looking for. And
you also didn't know any better. I mean, who out there was talking like this, just having an open conversation about how the business works from a hierarchy standpoint? Before you go tie into an FMO and really make a commitment to yourself and to that FMO, what you're doing, we didn't know any better. And I think a lot of brokers don't know any better. If you tell me this is how it works out there, I'll believe it. Then I'll work with you for 3 years. Then I'll wake up and talk to other agents and go, wait, that's not how it works out here.
Yeah.
How would you know any better? It's a little sheltered.
Yeah, for sure.
So awesome. Backing up a little bit, huge Medicare system, tons of opportunity for growth, getting paid directly, no underwriting, no premium on some plans. You get a commission. CMS Medicare determines your commission. We'll share all that stuff with you when you meet Aaron or myself. So huge opportunity. Partnership, Western Asset and CSG Pros come together to offer. We're going to show you some really cool stuff we do. And you as an agent get to plug in and go, okay, if I like what I hear, everything's great. You get paid directly to grow your business. And if you're willing to put the work in and manage your expectations, you can really grow good income in this business.
Awesome. Okay, let's move on. Are you ready to move, Paul? All right, here we go. All right. So this is you. We'll let.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll talk a little about Western Asset Protection, kind of a little deeper look at what an FMO does. And then we'll talk a little more about Aaron's role with CSG Medicare Pros. Here's the cool thing. You're actually talking to two principals that run our agencies. We're not talking to a sales manager. We're not talking to a rank and file employee. Like I cut the checks, Aaron cuts the checks. You're talking to the people that talk to the carrier. So it's really important to understand who makes the decisions in the agency. Who am I talking to? And right now you're talking to the lead of Western Asset Protection. We actually are part of Integrity, the largest life, health, and wealth, FMO in the country. Tons of agents. Don't need to share the numbers with you. We're really a big agency. We're a sub agency. We're a business unit of Integrity. Want to put that out there. Our group, Western Asset Protection, we have about 2,200 agents in about 10 core states that we're doing business in, Arizona being the biggest that we do. We are the largest distributor of Medicare in the state of Arizona with all the major carriers that there are. Like we said a minute ago, that first bullet note, administer carrier contracts. So one of my main duties that Aaron counts on every week from me is my contracting team. So first of all, I have 35 employees in North Phoenix. If you're ever in the Bell and Tatum area, we've got the Valley covered. We've got CSG Medicare Pros in the East Valley, Western Asset Protection in the North Valley. We've got a good coverage throughout the Valley, but our team, we have 4 people in contracting that help send contracting links, assist you with getting certified, becoming ready to sell. We have a broker support team, several people on our team that take phone calls from you. Maybe you're having an issue getting paid a commission. Maybe you're having an issue understanding a product, you name it. We've got staff on deck to assist you with questions. And trust me, with 10 different carriers you could have in your bag at any given time, questions will come up. And credentialing, Aaron, you got to spend 2, 3, 4 hours per carrier per year just to stay credentialed in the Medicare business. So our team specializes in onboarding and contracting and certifying and basically pushing a lot of the paperwork, if you will, to make sure everything gets set up correctly. Compliance is a big thing in Medicare. And I have a full-time compliance officer. Her name is Jean Lynch. She used to work for a Medicare Advantage plan. She's at least 15 plus years in the business, been with me for 8 years. She is available to oversee and make sure all of our partners are actively being compliant. In the world of Medicare, it's highly regulated and you can make mistakes and get in trouble. And our team is here. Jean is here, my compliance officer, to assist Aaron, his team, me, our whole teams, make sure we don't make mistakes. So if you've got a marketing piece you want to look at, your website you want to look at, or you want to do a mailer, or you have any questions about staying safe and compliant, we have the resources on staff to do that.
I'll just say that I talk to Gene regularly. I mean, I love, one of the things I love about this business is marketing. I love that part. It's so fun for me. And I've got all these crazy ideas and I like to be right up against the line, but not over it. And so I'll call Gene, I'll say, Gene, where am I? Am I on the line? Am I just on the correct side of the line, or am I over it? You say, well, you're over it, but if you did this, it would be awesome. And so that's fantastic. Yeah.
And what Aaron's talking about is you can't actually say these things. And so Aaron's like, well, can I say those things? They're close to these things, but they're those things. So you don't have to worry about being the master compliance person. That's what we have the resources here at our FMO for, right? High level training. Aaron, we've worked together for years. I'm one of the head trainers here. We're building a team of other trainers. We really believe in best in class training. I don't just say that. I mean, we try to demonstrate that. Our training isn't perfect, and I don't think any training is, but we have extremely knowledgeable people on our staff. We have a ton of experience in what we're doing. We really believe in conducting quality webinars, quality in-person meetings, and even our best-in-class Medicare conference that we have every September called the Western Asset Protection Conference, WAPCon. Very special program, 7 years running.
Very cool.
High quality training is what we're all about. And you'll see that experience. That right now I've got 80, 90, 100 on-demand videos ready to go, ready for the team. So we'll talk a little more about that, but co-op support. Aaron, and I have had success with him building his business because we've partnered up on a lot of marketing projects over the years. Aaron is not afraid to say, I need to spend some money to go get some leads and get some things going. And Aaron's always putting awesome projects in front of me, and we're always partnering up. We have opportunities to do the same for you. If you want to build your business, you want to do some direct mail, you want to do some things to grow, you want to do cover a table down at an event in your local senior center right next to your house. If you're trying to grow your business, as Aaron mentioned before, we don't get paid unless you get paid. So we're super motivated to make sure we partner up closely and put a marketing plan together. Everybody's a little different though. Some people don't like to do this, and that does not matter. There's 3, 4, 5 main ways to get business, but I'm here to help with my budget and help you grow your business, working very closely with CSG Medicare pros to do that. And last but not least, we have an entire tech team. I've got a developer on staff. We have, like I said, we have 35 people in our company. We pride ourselves in our technology. We have a world-class, website that supports brokers in their day-to-day business. It's on 24/7, password protected. It'll give you most of what we think you need to be successful, including electronic enrollment tools for Medicare plans. And where Aaron and I come from, this is new in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
But we offer to our partners best-in-class tech tools to help you be successful. We'll go through a little bit of that in a minute.
Let me just kind of put in context here. Paul does in Western Asset, they do all these things that I don't have the capability to do, nor do I want to do. I save, and my agent saves so many hours of working with a contracting issue with a carrier because they've got a team that does it for us. I mentioned about compliance. I mean, everything that they do, just takes weight off and then adds so much more. I mean, I'm excited. We're going to show you some of these tech tools. Really, really cool. Really
Well,
cool.
we want to do the things that Aaron doesn't need to be doing. Aaron needs to be meeting with his partners and developing great marketing plans to go grow the business. That's what Aaron's specialty is, being a high level, high end producer and an agency manager, partner, independent that helps his partners grow his business. And Aaron, you've got some really great success stories. I've talked to a couple of your agents in this last year that have been with the program 2-3 years, and they're having great success because they've done a lot of the things that you've done, teaching them how to be successful. So that's what you can focus on best.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a bit about my role, CSG Medicare Pros. Really from I guess a conceptual level, we're really kind of feet on the street, granular. And what that means is if we create a marketing plan, I'm going to help you execute it. I'm going to help you see what I've done in strategizing. I've got something I call the Medicare Vault. And that's something that's got 100 marketing ideas. And there's a number of those that I've delineated step by step. So for example, there's networking with doctors. I've got kind of a 7-step process over that's super it's not scary. It's super easy to do. I'll go out with an agent and show them how to do it. And within the first or second time I'm doing that very first step, they're like, oh, that's simple. I can do that. But it accounted, I don't think I've told you this, Paul, it accounted for 43% of our sales this year.
Wow.
2021. So again, back to it, just what are you going to do every day? What are your activities? What are your habits? What are the marketing strategies? And we'll talk a bit more about marketing in just a bit here. I'm also for newer agents going to quarterback your skill development, your competency training, helping you find the trainings that you need. What is the training, first of all, that you need? Where can you receive the training, whether it's me, whether it's Western Asset, whether it's the carriers, and when do you need it? To be real honest and open with you, you're going to feel overwhelmed at first. Everybody is. And anything time you do anything new like this, it just is. But having a clear cut roadmap is key. And so that's something that we offer and are very, very good at. Hands-on sales and marketing support. That's another thing. Okay, what do I do when I get to my very first appointment? Well, we're going to have practiced. We're going to have talked about a compliant presentation. You're going to have a sheet, my presentation sheet, my sales sheet, that's got a list of a bunch of things that you're just going to have it on the back of your clipboard or someplace. You go, let me just make sure, Miss Betty, that I've covered everything. Oh, wait, I forgot to talk about this. Okay, let me tell you about this. In addition to that, it's regular coaching meetings. So we'll set a time for newer agents. It's going to be, maybe it's weekly for the first few months. Maybe it's every 2 weeks. And then it spreads out as you get a little bit deeper into it. But this is really being an accountability partner. Everybody does better when they have an accountability partner. And this isn't somebody that's a taskmaster that's just watching over their, breathing over their shoulder. It's not that at all. It's just both of us knowing what your goals are and reconnecting regularly in our coaching meetings. Okay, how did that go? What could have done a little bit better to make that more effective? So that's what that's about. And then, as Paul mentioned, kind of the same vein. So I offer something called CSG Marketing Bucks. Every 5 sales you have in a month, I give you $100 towards marketing. And there's other opportunities as well. So that's
so Aaron, when you got in this business, did you have any of these types of services and support available as you were breaking your ground and you're doing your first Medicare enrollment?
No. It was, quite honestly, I think that's what has helped me be successful as a mentoring agency, is because I had to learn all just grassroots, just from the ground up. And so I didn't.
And that's why
I appreciate my path.
Well, that's why you've hit a level of success now, 10 years later, and built, an impressive organization with staff, and you've got the income and all the good stuff. You're like, well, what's next for me? And it's teaching more people how to be successful. You've seen what we do with our partners, and that's why you develop the CSG Medicare Pros value proposition and going, I know what it takes. Now, you're not the agent. And we always say the agent's got to do, it's their business, right? They're independent. But with these types of support and tools, we truly believe with the back end support that we can offer, the partnership with CSG Medicare Pros to be that local support, say, here's what I would do if I was you, or here's what I wouldn't do. It can accelerate, I think is the right word, Aaron, someone getting in this business. Doesn't mean it's easy. Doesn't mean it comes naturally and a year later you're making $1 million. That's not happening. Just it accelerates the learning path. It's complex and confusing. If you walked in right now in this business, there'd be 75 events you could attend this month, by the way. With our whole portfolio, 75 events you could attend, and you're overwhelmed going like, well, Aaron, United's got 32 events this month. Do I have to go to all of them? No. Aaron says, these are the 2 I'd go to, and then come to my class.
Yeah, no, I think accelerate is definitely the right word for what you and I can do for folks, for sure. Okay, let's move on here. We're going to talk about some specifics. This is exciting. This is, you won't know it because if you haven't been in the business, but this is game changing.
It's aggressive. A little bit about Western Assets value prop, then we'll get into CSG Medicare Pros value proposition. We do a lot of things, but on this sheet, you're going to see some of the training events that we do. We've been doing this for years. It's not like a creation this year. We've been developing these things for some time. So in terms of the regular trainings that we do, that we kind of wholesale, first thing is the Medicare library is inside the Medicare engine. It's got our Medicare Academy, which is a 9-hour Medicare training from start to finish. What is Medicare? And you see right there on the left, when you actually click on the very far left TML, underneath the engine right there, when you click on TML, we're inside the Medicare engine, by the way. This is our broker site. You click on TML, and it's got everything organized that we do. There's our team. There's a little intro on the Academy. On the very left bar there, if you click on the Medicare Academy, that's our 8-hour 2021 recorded program. It is full of videos that will help you understand the Medicare business. You can see there's 6-7 sections on the bottom right. It's all video. It's all on demand. You can listen to this thing. You know what I didn't have, Aaron, when I was in this business getting started? They didn't have any on-demand training. And that now we have on-demand training where literally you could listen over and over to section 1 until you're like, I got it. Medicare Part A, B, C, D. Got it. Next. What's a Medicare supplement? Listen to it. Okay. And Medicare Advantage. What's that? Or how to grow your business. We didn't have these tools available. So hours and hours of on-demand content based on what we believe will help you. Is it perfect? No. Is it a great start? Absolutely. If you want to really absorb yourself with the information. On the left there, underneath the Medicare Academy, you've got skill builders. Once a month, we put together something we feel like is going to sharpen your saw in a skill builder. You'll see it by content. Our team comes together. It could be on prospecting, on the Medicare Center. It could be on a variety of topics that we think will help you grow your business, or it could be a carrier promo and spotlight. Beneath that, we've got the Taco Tuesday. Once a month, we just come together and talk shop. If you want to get together and just chat in and say, hey, I got questions about Medicare, the time of year it is, we engage. And by the way, if you miss any of these are all live webinars. We record them and make them on demand for playback. So you don't have to worry about attending everything. But if you're driving to an appointment and have some time to kill, or you're working out and just looking to really advance your knowledge, or instead of watching movies and videos and TV, and you really want to advance your career and your knowledge, all this content is here, not including stuff Aaron's got. This is just the stuff that we're putting together. Beneath that, you've got the Medicare Center. And that's going to be a very important word for you to understand. As an integrity partner, we've got the Medicare Center, which is a robust platform that houses everything Medicare electronic enrollment, scope of appointment forms, electronic quoting, texting, enrollments, comparisons to consumers. It's all there. And Aaron's showing you a little bit about this tool that's available. You can create profiles. You can literally right now text a consumer a mandatory compliant piece called a scope form. You could also text them or email them by zip code a comparison of plans. And you can't necessarily do that very well without this technology. So all you have to do is punch in a zip code. You can search the plans available. It's going to pull up the 90 plus Medicare Advantage plans or 50 plus Medicare. Look at 84 Medicare Advantage plans are popping up in that zip code alone. And this technology allows you to compare quote, and send your customers things you need immediately. And Aaron, I know you've used this last year. It's a game changer.
It is a game changer. I mean, there's a lot, to be honest with you, to like searching doctors, to searching medications and making sure they're on all the 3 or 4 plans that I'm kind of eyeballing. But this does that all for you. You go in here, you enter prescriptions in, and it's going to tell you, when I look at my first 5 or 6 plans, it's going to tell you all my medications are covered. Here's what I could reasonably guess would be my costs for the year. So it's revolutionized the game. It really has. All these things that Paul just talked about, these digital things, I don't know anybody else that does it. And if they do, they don't do it anywhere near what Western Asset does. So,
and I think the important thing, Aaron, is this is an overview. We could spend 7 weeks training on Medicare. That's easy. We could spend 2 more weeks training on our technology. It just depends how fast people learn and what they need to know. The good news is, in the Medicare engine that we were just in, going back to the engine, we have hours and hours of videos. You scroll down there on the Medicare Center right there on TML where we were, hours of training on the Medicare Center. It's a little complicated. It's like anything. It's leveraging the tech. If you click on Medicare Center on the left there, right there, down right there. So if you click on Medicare Center, we're kind of everything you need to know about our technology and quoting and enrolling is right here. Video after video after video. Like, you don't have to wait for Aaron or myself. Like, hey, can you tell me? We will, by the way, we will host training for Aaron's team. We do it several times a year. But if it's 9 o'clock, you got some time to burn, you can't sleep, and you're looking to really advance your knowledge, and you're hung up, or you got an appointment tomorrow, you could easily watch any of these videos, and it will walk you through. And it's not like a video from 2 years ago. Most of these videos were cut in the last 3 months or less. That's also the interesting thing. We're creating the content and training and make that available in our platform. Carrier training, it's another one right there. If you go down one, and same thing right there under the Medicare Center on the left there, carrier training. Aaron, there's so much to know about United Healthcare, Humana, Aetna. We make on demand a lot of our carrier training. We make it available where you can just look it up and go, you know what? We're refreshing the whole deck right now. We're re-recording all 22 right now. In the next 30 days, we'll have a lot of our content up for 22, but it's a fantastic way to go. Do I need to put this carrier in my portfolio? Or can I learn more about Humana in the counties they're in and who's available? And again, is it perfect walk-away training where you're just a master? No, it's just a great opportunity to engage with training on demand when you're ready. We could spend more time on it, but essentially the Medicare engine is there as a warehouse of PDFs and content to help you build your business. If you want me to cover any part of it too, Aaron, feel free to.
I'll just make this comment that I am in here when I'm selling regularly. I'm in here, the Medicare engine, every single day, and there's just so much at your fingertips to be able to compare plans. Again, you can do that also through the Medicare Center, the Medicare app there. But to compare plans, to look at the summary of benefits, to be able to download some documents and send them to clients to do virtual enrollments. And it's just so much. Every year when we come around to recertifying, you go here to the Search Central and they'll tell you what it has links, and it just makes it super easy to go to wherever you need to go to get certified with, Humana or Aetna or whoever. So much. And there's a quoting tool for supplements that are amazing. I mean, makes it so simple.
If you can click on browse carriers for a second, I think this is the fun part where it's like our trading cards.
Yeah.
If I told you it takes 2-3 hours to certify, or more or less, depending on your knowledge and skills, to credential and be authorized to sell a product. If you scroll down right now, Aaron, and just show the variety of flavors, you're going to get all your flavors into one place, and you could click on one of those plans and go find the PDFs or who to call or how to submit business. And I think the true power of the engine is, before the engine, Aaron, you're going to go have to hunt down with a carrier. There's 6 carriers, 6 logins, 6 different things. Now, we don't have everything in here, but 80-90% of what Aaron needs to do to be successful in business, we're going to put on here. Of course, you got to go to the carrier website to do an enrollment sometimes with them, or check your commissions or update your profile. That's you and the plan. But Aaron doesn't have to go log into 5 different health plans separately to go chase down different structures. It's going to follow the same structure, different carriers, same information, where you can, people don't realize how valuable that is until you're in the field taking a phone call from a customer calling you from Yavapai County up in Prescott or down in Tucson. You're like, I have no idea what's down there. Click, click, click within the engine. You'll have that information at the top Medicare pros in this business, like Aaron, really do appreciate having this information at their fingertips. And I don't think people realize how much energy, time, and money it takes us to aggregate this information and make it easier. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to create value, to make this job easier so you can focus on what, Aaron? Finding the next customer, helping the next agent, not chasing down where's the PDF for WellCare. That's the last thing I need you guys doing.
What's I don't know that he tells everybody this, but when October 1st hits, that's when we can start talking about the new plans for the next year, and during our annual election period, open enrollment, if you want to call it that. And the night before, the 30th of September, there is an army of people staying up all night, gathering all this information from each carrier's website and dropping it into, just imagine that, all this information that's available to us. So anyway, it's a monumental task, but they do it every year, and we're grateful for it. Okay, should we move on, Paul?
Yeah, we'll keep moving forward.
Maybe I'll navigate to our screen again, but can you just tell them about CRM, maybe what that is, and you got a free one?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to go to Medicare Center Home, I'll just point that out. It's on the top right there, I think, on your screen. Very, very top right browser.
Oh yeah.
Medicare Center Home right there. Yeah. Okay. So right here, we could just pause here. This is all we need to see.
Okay.
Everybody that contracts with CSG Medicare Pros and Western Asset Protection, the partnership that we talked about, gets access to the Medicare Center. And the Medicare Center is basically your house that holds everything together. On the left there, you're going to see the Med app, and the blue link is the 22 Med app. That's basically Connecture. And that's basically the electronic enrollment tool that we were showing you just a minute ago, sparing any time here. It's a different meeting. But basically in that Med app, you can enter profiles, send scope of appointment forms. That's the compliant piece you have to have signed before you can talk to a customer about Medicare. You can send quotes to customers with your picture on them, and help enroll on a complicated Medicare process by text or by email. It's phenomenal. The Med link we don't use in the middle. It's a different product. That's not what we're using right now. On the right there, CSG app is actually a Medicare supplement quoting and enrollment tool. And it doesn't have every med sup yet. There's 52 med sups in Arizona. They'll do 3 or 4 of the core med sups right now. AARP, Aetna, a couple of those. So when you think Med app on the left, think PDP and Medicare Advantage. It's a different type of product, one of the types of products. When you think Med Sup, the other type of product, we've got an app that will quote all the Med Sups in your area and get you enrolled with some of the big ones. When you scroll down, you'll actually see where it says View Contacts. Technically, on the View Contacts, that is a free CRM that all of our agents get. That's where you can create profiles, save client information, save notes, enroll customers, and they're building that out right now to be more comprehensive. It's not going to be this robust agency block, Act Sage, Salesforce CRM for you today. It is a basic CRM that's going to advance quickly in the next 12 months. And at no cost to a CSG Medicare Pro agent, you're going to have access to all of these tools and a way to get at least a basic CRM going to keep yourself organized. And you should be able to have the ability, we could talk about, there's training on this later, Aaron, so we don't have to worry about getting hung up today.
Yeah.
But you can upload and export client information for mailings, et cetera. Just another thing that we offer as a value add for working with us.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's kind of never ending, the value that we're getting. But
and just when you get to know how it works, everybody changes everything. Carriers change their stuff, we change our stuff, which is why there's a lot moving in the tech world.
Yeah.
So there's our training, Medicare Engine we talked about, CRM Center. That's the core. But wait, there's more. There's always more. And as you get plugged in, you'll learn more. But those are our core value props that we've got.
Awesome. Okay. So just as far as CSG value prop specifics, so we have, just in context, let me share this. When I'm looking at training that new agents need, I'm looking at the whole picture, but I'm looking at what is done by Western Asset, which is a huge kind of high level chunk of trainings that are fantastic. Carriers do, some content training, and they do some, sales skills and a few things here and there. And so I'm trying not to duplicate that. I'm trying to take from that high level and what is it that we need on a daily basis as a Medicare salesperson, Medicare practitioner. So this monthly CSG Medicare Pro Tips Team Huddle. So this is a monthly team meeting where all of my agents attend. And again, like Paul, I have an online training library that's just within like a week or two of being released. So we're pretty excited about that. It's password protected, obviously, but you'd have access to those offline. So besides those two things, I mentioned this before, but a training program. What are the fundamentals? What training do you need? When do you need it? Where can you get it? So kind of a whole grouping of the trainings and a list of when you should get them and what you need. One of the really important things that I do is, and I love this as well about the business, is doing strategic planning. So looking at the first part of the year and saying, okay, this is what your annual election period looked like. This is what last year looked like. Let's learn from it. And now, what do you want from the future? So we create a strategic plan. We include the marketing, obviously, in that training, getting to know the carriers and competencies, things like that. So that's really, really important. I mentioned the marketing vault. And then, the other thing that you're going to get from me or somebody at my level is on-call sales support. So you get in and this happens a lot, and I'm excited about it because I teach you once or twice and you know it. But you're going to call and say, hey, Aaron, I'm not sure what to do about this. I'm in an appointment with Mr. Jones. Help me out. Okay, well, here's what we need to do. Here's how we go about this. And, you should be fine. Just go this direction. So those are some of the things that I offer. I will show you.
Invaluable, Aaron. I mean, you've done thousands of presentations with customers. Yes. You've run into really weird scenarios with prescriptions and doctors and plans and certain people with conditions. And I guarantee you, being a rookie in the Medicare business, you're going to have some funky cases hit your desk right away that are ultra complex. And there's no knowing it all, too. Even with Aaron, with all his experience in mind, we have to dig into the crates and find out how to answer a customer's question. You hear about a disease you've never heard about. You hear about a prescription you've never heard of. A lot of the Medicare is you follow a core foundation that Aaron teaches, but then, every case is almost a small research project to make sure we're doing the right work for a customer, put them in the right plan.
Yeah, for sure. I do want to show you one of our digital tools. So this is, if you can see that, Paul, you see my website?
Yes, looks great.
Okay. So we actually we created our own, and then we spent a lot of money kind of revamping it, and pretty happy with this. But I want to show you a couple things. First of all, it's going to csgmedicarepros.com. I think you might have even gone on here, some of you. But if you go to join our team, it'll take you to talk about our value proposition, frequently asked questions for sales, how to contact us, cute little video I did a while back, my story, some things like that. So kind of some ins and outs of sales. But what I wanted to show you is, even with just a little landing page, you could, for yourself, if you wanted to, you could have something like this. And look at this, compare Medicare plans, enroll. If through some of my marketing, I funnel people to my site, they either give me their information, they poke around a little bit, or they say, I can do this on my own. They click that, guess where it takes them? Oh, not there.
Yeah, we got to double check that.
Check that.
That's the 21. That's the 21 link. We got to refresh the 22 link.
All right.
Yeah, you got to update that. That just changed, like in the last week.
Just changed. Okay. So it takes you. That was anticlimactic, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, it takes you to that the connects your tool, the tool where they
enrollment site.
sell,
Basically,
shop.
everybody's going to get a 22 link that will take them to a live site, and will allow them to have their own customers enroll in a plan. That's a very simple fix. Aaron and I will have that fixed literally in the next hour or so. But everybody gets for free a CMS approved comparison site that you could put on your own website or your email signature, any way you want to share the digital link. And it will allow consumers to quote, compare, add to the cart, enroll, and you get paid commissions.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, we're just about done here. So we wanted to kind of wrap up here and talk about, some of our pro tips to how to break into Medicare sales. And this is not going to be a comprehensive conversation. It'll just be a couple minutes, but just to give you some pointers. If we were in your shoes and knowing what we know, what would we want to know? This might sound a little self-serving, but whether it's us or somebody else, that's fine. We don't care. I mean, we'd love to work with you if you're choosing to go this direction, but choose your upline wisely. Ask the questions. Ask your upline both at the agency mentoring level or at the FMO. Ask the questions. Do you have a free release? What kind of tools do you have to help me succeed? What do you do as far as contracting? Do you help with that? Certification? What do you have? What do you offer? Do you go on visits with me when I want to go start going to some doctor's offices? So just ask questions.
And I've got a direct question that came directly to me about onboarding and what's really required to come on board. What's the actual commitment to come on board, or how long does it take to actually be onboarded, or what's that look like a little bit?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's a number of steps. First would be you need a state of Arizona health license. If you're in Arizona, other state, obviously there. So a health license, and that's a process. You have to go through a pre-test that costs $150 or so. You need to take the test. There's a little bit of cost for that. You'll pay a little bit for your license. And then from there, it's taking what is called the AHIP. It's just an acronym, but it really is a training that's the National Medicare Competency Test. And so we take that every year. You're actually going to, if you already have your health license, you probably go, oh gosh, I'm glad I already have it, because that's a little bit of a bear. It's tough. The AHIP is awesome. You'll love it because it's real practical content, what you need to know to be successful in this business, about the plans, about compliance, about marketing, and things like that. And then from there, it's getting connected. Well, I guess just before that, get connected with an upline so they can be ready to catch your contracts, and contracting is next. And so there's a little bit of testing with each carrier. The testing for AHIP and the testing for the carriers is not rocket science. There's some really easy guides we can give you to make sure you pass, but you do have to pass all that with a certain percentage. And then from there, it's just getting trained and going, creating a strategic plan and just starting, just getting your foot out the door. I'm going to go knock on some doctors' doors. I'm going to go, I've got a relationship with somebody who sees seniors a lot. I'm going to go meet with them, just tell them what I'm doing. In addition to the small little things, getting your new cards, getting a card, Medicare card, a compliant card. And
I always tell agents to, in 20 years of doing this, depending on your portfolio, okay, depends on how much time it takes to onboard. Aaron's all about keeping it simple. Probably give you a few carriers to get started with, one or two, one to keep it really simple, maybe a few to make sure you have options. But if it takes about a week or two to do background checks, you fill a contract out with the carrier. There could be a background check, so we can't have like aggressive DUIs, felonies, things like that. Let's be honest. You can't have anything crazy on your record to represent some of these companies. So you contracting can take anywhere from a week or two to get an ID number. It could take another few days or a week or two, depending how fast you are to certify. So I would say if you're paying attention and really pushing through the onboarding process, I'd say give yourself a month. Give yourself a month to onboard. Could be faster, Could take longer depending on who you are and what you're doing and your skill sets. But I think that's another thing too is, well, what's the cost to be with CSG or WAP? And the cost is zero, except that you have to do a few of these things. Like you have to have the errors and omissions that Aaron mentioned. E&O is protecting you from making any mistakes and consumers suing you. So you get a little errors and omissions policy. It could run anywhere from $200 to $400 a year. That's something that all of our agents take care of themselves. The AHIP is $100, $125. I'm happy to talk to Aaron. If you're onboarding with CSG Medicare Pros and you're excited about breaking the business, I'll help you get some of those things going if that's a problem. But those are annual costs that you have to absorb. The only other cost, like there's no cost for our websites, there's no cost for our knowledge and training. Remember, we get compensated when you get paid. And if you're not out there getting sales and getting enrollments, if you will, we're not getting paid. So that really, we're being paid when you are successful. Keep that in mind. And the only real cost, now let's be honest, if you want a website, if you want your own business cards, if you want to develop some stuff, I got a marketing team, between CSG, Medicare Pros, us, we can help you build some stuff. But a lot of your business planning and co-oping, and you're going to want to spend your time and energy, and doesn't hurt to have a few dollars set aside to test out some advertising. And Aaron and I will meet you, where you're at in a co-op program. So I always say the biggest expense in this business you'll face is your time and your money to be successful. And Aaron and I are here to help you make sure you're not burning too much time or too much energy or money into the wrong things right away. And we're willing to put our time and energy and money into you if you are as well, if you're interested in growing the business.
Well, I got a question in the chat. It says, how long would it take for me to build enough income to sustain myself? And that's a little bit of a tricky question because it depends on how much income you need. But to be quite frank with you, it takes time. It takes time for you to build the income, to build the network, so you're getting sales. I would say you probably are not going to see any sales for at least the first 2-3 months, maybe, not many at least. And then for getting a flow through your efforts, through networking, through marketing, things like that, it'll take time. Paul, what are your comments on that?
Yeah, I always say this in 20 years of doing this. Your first year is all about learning, because year one in Medicare, there's a lot going on. It's training. We want to talk about Aaron Matheny level of Medicare consultation. It took him 10 years to get that knowledge. It took him probably 2-3 years to get savvy. I think with all the training that we've got available, it takes, 3 to 6 months to learn everything that's going on. Then it takes another 3 to 6 months to actually perfect your style of meeting with customers. And if you're doing all the things that Aaron says to be successful in this business, year one, if you can put up 50 to 100 customers by doing all the right things, be careful with that. There aren't a lot of sales and income the first 3 to 6 months because you're learning, training, getting set up. So you got to invest very little capital, get set up, very little. That's the AHIP, all training and time. Then we're developing a marketing plan to get your first customers on board. I always say your first season, your AEP season, if you put on 30, 40, 50 new customers, you're doing all the right stuff and you're working very hard to get that. But then you start picking up referrals after that season, 1 or 2 a month. You still got to really hustle for 2 or 3 years, like building any business. And then you're starting to sell a few a month, couple a month, few a month. And that next annual election period, you're going to put up 50 to 100 new enrollments. And you get the renewals from the people you sold all last year. It's that compounding factor that it takes, in my opinion, a couple years to build a decent little base. If you do all the work and get engaged. There are some people that do this, Aaron, that are like, I'm looking for something else to do. It's a little side hobby. I'd like to earn, a couple grand a month. That's fine. Awesome. There are some people that want to, I want to make 100 grand. I want this to be my career. I have a vision for it. This is great. Those all sound great. This is why we want to schedule a meeting with Aaron to say, Aaron, here's where I'm at in my life. Let me tell you about what I want to do, what I want to grow. And Aaron can say, you know what, based on everything you told me, and you guys sit down and talk about this, here's my expectations. But the biggest mistake I've seen in 20 years is people that don't have enough time or they need the resources earlier than it can manifest. That's the biggest issue. If you've got a little time, little energy, knowing you're starting a business, you can do this. If you don't have the time and you need 50 grand this year, well, we would say it may not work for you this year. You might do this as a side hustle, or go pick up a career job where they can, even the career companies can't guarantee your success unless you have a base salary. They tell you where to be. Basically, you're picking a job up, but you don't own any business. It's not yours. So remember, independent entrepreneur, every case you own is vested as yours, but it's really hard to build in this market today. It's difficult. It's not impossible. It's like any business. It's difficult. We like to manage your expectations, though, and not sell you this idea that, oh, it's great, it's fantastic, you're gonna do amazing things. No, you will do amazing things if you apply yourself correctly. That's the key.
Well, I think a roundabout way, we've covered everything on this slide, which is almost the last slide here. But I guess as far as next steps go, as Paul said, is probably just to continue to engage. Start with me. We'll talk more. We can, again, we've done months worth of training in a very consolidated little, topics in a consolidated little hour here, but we hope this has been helpful to you. Let's just check the Q&A and chat and see if there's anything else, Paul.
I think we've answered most of those questions. And if you have more, you guys feel free. Aaron's available to help you. And, we hope to see you soon, and hope you've got some more questions about how we can help you.
Yeah, you should have my contact information. You should get a follow-up email from this presentation with my contact info as well. But please reach out. Let's chat and see what's the next step for you. Paul, thanks so much. Gosh, what a pleasure it's been. I love doing trainings with you. It just is fun.
Yeah.
It goes fast.
We love what we do. We love what we do. And you've been doing it 10 years. I've been doing 20. We're passionate about this business and helping people get the right Medicare plan and really helping agents build careers. So my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. I'll stick around for just a couple minutes if there's any other questions, but Paul, thanks again. And to those bunch of you who attended, we're happy. We're pleased that so many of you joined.
Take care, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.